Sometimes we want new habits to be brought into our lives. We want to shift. Like, for example, you might be a parent who struggles with, that tipping point when you lose your patience and you end up flipping your lid and, yelling or dropping a punishment or shutting down or giving in. And you just know that there are all these ways. I mean, we've been going over these last few weeks, calm parent strategies, ways to stay cool and calm and collected in the moment, to regain your composure, to dig deeper, to find that patience that you thought that you didn't have. Maybe take a step away and come back, right? And what often happens though, you have all the tools, about breathing, about tense and release tools, about reframing your perspective, like emotion coaching yourself, or, taking a break and taking your attention off, all these strategies, which I share with folks, which, by the way, if you like those strategies, go ahead and request to join my parent group so that you can put in your email and I'll send you the guide with the 6 strategies that we've been going over these past few weeks. Now, there's something that happens though, that breaks things down. And that is that in the moment, unless we have been kind of integrating these strategies and practices in a more regular way, not just for the moments that we are at our worst, it's really hard to sort of develop the neurological or muscle memory to kind of bring that strategy into the moment. And that's why, things like yoga practices, meditation practices, and mindfulness practices are proven to help overall stress, response, negative stress responses to decline over time. And that's not just because you're taking the time to calm down, it's because you're training yourself or retraining yourself on what to do when you're having a difficult time managing your stress. So as parents though, we can't always attend an hour-long yoga class or do a 20-minute meditation every morning. Some of you have, and I'm really proud of several of my clients who have made that part of their daily morning routine. They've kind of said the first 20 minutes are mine. It's when I put on my meditation app and I, drink that water with some lemon in it, and I say my affirmation for the day. Some of you will fit it in that way. Others of us are not going to really have this robust 20 to 30 minutes or even an hour built into every day, and yet it's really what we need. It's what we need, especially if we want to bring in new habits and let go of old ones. So here's my suggestion. We can actually just build in 1 to 3 minutes throughout the day that we can practice one strategy at a time. Just pick one habit for now. That if you practice for 2-3 weeks, it will start to become a part of your daily life. Now, easier said than done, right? It's like, well, when do I do this, Vanessa? When do these habits get formed? Like, what do you, tell me more. Okay, well, here, let me break it down for you. Research, motivation experts say that if you want to change a habit, one of the best things you can do is to go ahead and look at your existing habits and pick another part of your day that you consistently do. It could be like one of my participants last week had said, I think it was Diep, she said, when my feet hit the ground in the morning, that's when I'm going to say, some affirmations. Another person said, when I'm brushing my teeth, that's when I'm going to remind myself that when I'm done brushing, I'm going to practice the roller coaster breath. Another person said, when I take the dog for a walk, that's when I'm going to practice some positive self-talk and really emotion coach myself about maybe some feelings that are carried over from the night before or the day before, and really kind of reframe things and get ready for the new day, feeling resourced, maybe even affirmed with some affirmations. So the big tip here is hang your new habit onto an already existing habit that's already going well. This works not just for calm down strategies. This works for all kinds of things. Like, for example, I was having the hardest time remembering to brush my dog's teeth, but I would never forget to fill his water bowl, because when I saw it low, I'd always be like, oh no, my dog needs water. So I went ahead and made it so that before I could fill his bowl with water, I had to brush his teeth. And I just made those habits into like a cluster. I clumped them together so that I would always remember. And, it's incredible. I'm brushing my dog's teeth like almost every single day now, where before it was maybe twice a week I would be like, oh yeah, take care of my dog's teeth. And so you can do this with all kinds of habits, but what I want to encourage you to do is to just pick one way, that one strategy that you could start incorporating into daily life, and particularly one that you would love for your children to learn from you, right? So this could be one that if they were to start using in the moments when they're upset, it would make such a difference for them, and you know that. And so it'd be worthwhile, adding this into your repertoire as well. So I want you to pick one calm down strategy. And again, if you need the guide, just join the group and let me know. Put your email in if you're in the business page. You're on the Raising Our Resilience page right now, listening. Go ahead and just join the group, and we can get that guide to you. So I want you to pick one of those, and under each of those 6 strategies, there's like a lot of ideas. So just pick one idea that you're going to try for the next week. And I want you to come back here next Monday at 2 p.m. into the Raising Our Resilience group, or on Zoom if you decide to join by Zoom. And I would love to walk through whether it worked or not and help you through any roadblocks. I want you to pick one thing, and I want you to pick one habit that you're going to attach it to. So right now, if you're listening to this, in the comments or in the chat, go ahead and share what is one new calm down strategy that you would love to learn and love for your children to learn, and especially pulling from the 6 strategies from the guide. And what's the existing habit that you're going to attach it to? Like, so for me, I can really hold my breath too much in my diaphragm. I forget to breathe deeply. So one of the breathing tools was the rib expand and contract kind of somatic experience, right? Of stretching your torso open and constricting it using your muscles. And I would love to kind of give myself that muscle memory of deeper breathing, less holding, right? And so for me, I would say brush my teeth, because I'd love to do it twice a day. Brush my teeth, take 3 deep rib expanding and contracting breaths. So that's what I want to start to bring in. So when I brush my teeth, I'm going to take 3 deep rib expanding and contracting breaths. Go ahead and put in the comments, put in the chat, let me know what it is. And that way, when we come back next week, we can take a look at how did that go? Why did it go well? Why didn't it go well? What other motivation hacks could we maybe support you with? Okay. So that's the first one. Have a habit that you want to change, attach it to an already existing habit. Really powerful stuff. And if it's not a calm down strategy that you want to attach to an existing habit, but it's something else that that benefits your children, share that too. We would love to hear about it in our group here in our community. Okay. And if you're not on the business page and you haven't yet come over to the group, I highly recommend you join us. There's about 400 parents who all are committed to raising our resilience so we can raise our children's resilience, and the whole family can go forward with more resilience. Okay, so that was the first one. The second one is make it fun or interesting or meaningful. What does it mean to you to have this habit, right? So one of the things that I already kind of coached you through is making it meaningful, because if you do it, then your children will do it. So that's why I had you pick the one that you would most love your child to start using, okay? So let's say for me, it would be really meaningful for me to like expand and contract my ribs and breathe more deeply, because I know that I have less back pain. I have less back pain when I do a better job of keeping my diaphragm open and that part of my body moving. So that could be meaningful in that I want to avoid more suffering, right? So for you, it might be like, I really don't want to yell as much as I do. I really want to reduce the yelling. Or it could be, I really want to have energy left at the end of the day. So I have energy left for like my interests and adult time with other adults while the kids are asleep. I'm not just like wiped out. It could be that like I was saying about like your child saying like, I've tried other tools but I haven't tried this one yet. And things aren't going so well, where my kid is not able to kind of calm down easily. I need to keep trying new ones until we find one that really works for my child. So that could be a way to make it meaningful. Having a really strong reason why. Another way you could do it is, another hack is just, make it interesting. Like Maybe you could keep a chart like where you like have a little check off every time you do it. You could reward yourself with something. You can make it into a game. Pick one other parent in the group to say, hey, do you want to do the 1 week challenge with me, where we pick a habit and we try and we check in a week. Will you be my accountability partner, right? And you could like ask somebody who you know in the group, or just invite somebody to join you and work on this for the week. Absolutely. So the first one is hang it to an already existing habit. The second one is make it interesting or meaningful. And we'll go into that even more next week, okay? And then the third one is, addressing any kind of underlying blocks that are kind of keeping you from not just the practicing part, but actually putting it into practice in the moment. And this can be one of many things. And that's actually why I developed a quiz for parents to be able to identify what could be breaking down. For example, if the routines aren't running smoothly, if kids aren't on board with rules, expectations, and limits, and they're pushing back a lot, if there's been a lot of conflicts and we haven't really been able to get to the place of repair and like learning through conflicts. So I've actually developed a system that helps parents to be able to raise resilient kids based on 7 areas that I've seen that, where parents get stuck, right? They just get stuck. And it makes sense then that I created a quiz to kind of identify like, which of these do you get stuck on? And how could we move through those blocks, okay? So you have emotional mastery, motivation mastery, healthy boundaries, robust routines, conflict resolution and repair, mutual goals and teamwork, and just generally having positive relationships. Now, I would be so happy to share this guide with you, and also more importantly, for you to take the parent discovery quiz, which I'll be adding a link in just a moment into the post so you can take it. And what I would encourage you to do is to really look at and be vulnerable and be brave and say, like, are there other things happening here that are breaking down, that are making it really hard in the moment for me to keep my cool, and for me to stay motivated in bringing in these tools and strategies? I mean, if things are really chaotic in daily life because of conflicts or unresolved conflicts, or hi Marie, or perhaps there's just the routine hasn't been able to smooth out, let's get to that, right? Let's address that. And that's probably why I built this quiz, so parents can really get the clarity. And some people even hop into my year-long immersion. I mean, right now we're looking at 17 families going into our July immersion starting, and I have just 3 spots left. We usually cap it off at 20. That starts July. And maybe it's a good fit for you to hop into that program, who knows? But more importantly, let's get that quiz done so you can see which area you really need support in and which areas you're strong in that we could build off of, okay? And in that quiz, there's a part 2 where you can apply to have a strategy session with me. And that's so we can go through your quiz results and map out your next steps. Whether you work with me or not, there's no obligation. We would just get together for 20-30 minutes on Zoom, go over your quiz and get that map for you so you can see what's next. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very passionate about parent education. I believe every parent deserves to have these tools and strategies, and in the awareness that that there's something that you can do to empower yourself and empower your kids, and to build a whole roadmap to resilience for the whole family. Okay, so in review, the 3 things we went over today for motivation tips. First, hanging on to an existing habit, okay? Second, and if you want it to become a real part of life, you want to pick something that you do daily. So hanging on to an existing habit. Second, make it interesting or meaningful. I especially suggest picking something that it would be really meaningful if your kids started to do it too. Okay. And the third one would be to address any underlying obstacles or blocks, especially from the 7 areas that I've identified that really are the make or break areas, these 7 pillars. Okay. So I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you haven't yet, let's just start with that first tip. Okay. What strategy would you love for your kids to learn, or you would love to bring into rotation, a calm parent strategy? And again, if you haven't gotten the guide, join my group, share your email, or if you're already in the group, like let me know that you need one. Okay. Which of those habits would you love to, practices and tools would you love for your kid to learn? And what existing habit do you want to hang that onto so that you start to practice it daily? Now, here's the last gem I want to leave you with, okay? Which is that if you practice it regularly in front of your kids, and I always say, like, think out loud. So if you practice it regularly and think out loud about it in front of your children, that is the fastest way to teach them. Showing over telling, always. Okay, generally, right? Occasionally kids aren't picking up on it and you have to like really spell it out, which could be reinforcing, but even better, walk the talk. Okay, show instead of tell, or show before you tell. Because then guess what you get to have? You get to have their curious eyes on you. You get to have them wondering. You get to have them thinking and trying it out. I remember this time I just did a 4-square breath in front of my students, didn't explain what it was. And this is in the guide, okay? So remember to share your email and register for the group. Or let me know you need one. And I just did it, and I closed my eyes and I started doing it, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4. And I did it 2 or 3 times, and half the kids were like, but then the other half the kids were like, trying it too. They want to learn from us how to manage their emotions. They also want to learn how to keep our calm or just manage stress throughout the day. So go ahead and think out loud about it. So I just started to do it, and then I explained it. I said, when I breathe in and hold my breath in, it really helps my lungs get filled with good oxygen, and then when I breathe out slower and I count, it makes me really aware of my breath. And when I hold it out, it makes me really slow down. And I'm noticing I feel so much better and less frustrated now. Ooh, that felt good. And you're not necessarily even teaching them in a lesson, right? You're not like, okay, child, sit down, let me explain. You're just using it in daily life. So if you can hang it onto a habit, you'll get more reps and you'll be more likely to use it. Your kids will get to see it, especially pick the one that you want them to learn. And then if you're saying like, Vanessa, no, you don't understand my child. Like, you don't understand how chaotic things are. I've tried that with my kid. It doesn't work. Take the quiz. Let's find out what that is. What's going on? Let me help you with it. Okay. If anything else, you'll at least get some clarity, and I'll send you a free guide on emotion coaching your kid. Okay. So go ahead and do that. And we'll be back here for motivation mastery tips next week. I'm going to share my favorite model for 5 motivation hacks next week at 2 p.m. and we'll check in about how your goal went. We had a whole group, like about 7 really smart, awesome parents doing this exact thing a week ago. We came back a week later, and it was so satisfying to say, like 1 or 2 of them were like, I did it. And the other 4 were like, I didn't, but now I want to, I'm inspired. So let's inspire each other. We also kind of worked through what broke down, how they could have more success next time. This is what it feels like to have support and mentorship and a community wrapped around you. We're going to do this together. So I'll see you at the next Mindset Monday. And until then, be well. I hear you. I see you. I believe in you, and you can do this. And your kids are waiting for you to show up this way. You'll see. All right. Bye for now. Lots of love.